Remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, share. Everything you do does help. And if you want to help out a little more, head over to my Patreon and you can get yourself a mug, sticker, or tote bag. I also do exclusive giveaways on live streams. Link in the description. So this one here I refer to as the Reverse Easy Classic. Because the trick is so old itself, I just call it the Easy Classic. Here it is right here, the normal one. And I'm going to slow it down too and show you how I did it. But when you do it upside down, you get a way cooler, better looking result. So I call this one the Reverse Easy Classic. So here's the trick in full speed. I like it because of the finger placement. You're going to see here, I show you the hinge is upside down, the lid's facing the bottom. And when you do it this way, you get that cool snap back up motion. Your finger's ready for the light, and then you twirl and snap shut for the finish. So number 9, I call the pop shove it because the way you have to pop open the lid and shove it closed. I know I make this trick look easy, but it's even hard for the slow motion to capture up how fast I'm going. You can see it slow down here. I just pop it open, light it with the same finger I pop it open with, and shut it very fast. Do it very fast and repetitively, and it looks actually pretty cool. I'm going to explain to you the grip on this. In order to pull off this trick, grip is everything. You're going to want your thumb right here below the lid, and then you're going to want your pointer finger pointed below the bottom of the corner, also below the lid. That's where you're going to hold the lighter and grip it. Then you're going to put it firmly into, just to hold it a little bit sideways so it goes into the bottom of your hand. This piece has to go into the bottom of your hand. Your middle finger is going to do all the work. It's going to flip it up, light it. That's all you got to do. And when you get good at it and you time your speed and where the lighter is, you're going to be able to do it pretty good. So practice that at home, guys, and that's trick number 9. And now another one of my top favorites, the Quick Draw McGraw. I like doing this trick. It's basically like an old style revolver hammer action trick. You just pop it open, like I'm showing here in slow motion. Hit it like it was a revolver hammer. Just give it a little spin for flair and shut her up. It looks pretty good. All right, so in order to pull off this trick, all you're gonna need to do is have your Zippo in the gun position, but upside down, so it's opening like this, you can see. And you just do the exact same thing, but with your finger and your thumb, you just push forward and it'll pop right open. And then you can come over top with the hammer any way you like and add any flair you want to the Zippo. All right, and for trick number 7, the operator, I gave it the new name. I didn't like using the gun in the video, so I went with the operator. It looks really good when you can juggle it really fast, and you'll see, even in the slow-mo, my thumb is always going back to the same spot. You really get a feeling for how this is supposed to be in your hand, and once you get good at it, you can just juggle it over and over, and it looks pretty good. All right, this is a pretty simple trick to pull off. All you really have to do is put your pointer at this corner above the hinge and your thumb at this one on the opposite side of the hinge. Have your trigger finger as the middle finger and have this back corner piece right in the ball of your first finger right here. See how it's going into this piece right there where my callus is? You can see that, and every time you do, you just kind of push forward with the lid and put back pressure on here and push forward with your middle, and you'll pop open every time. It's a pretty easy trick to pull off. So now that you've mastered the operator, it's time to master the reverse operator. And I have to say this one is actually a little bit harder, to pull off. And there's 2 different ways you can do it. So here's the first way. It's pretty fun and you can add some flair. It's nice to do. And here's the second way. It's a little backwards and it kind of pops up like that. And you got to use a little different of grip. I'm going to go into details explaining how you actually pull off both of these styles. All right, so all you're going to need to pull that off to do the reverse gun is the same thing as the gun, except remember that you're trying to fling this forward more than you usually are. You're trying to actually spin that open so the lid opens, and you got to be tight. You got to have that really tight in the thing, and it'll pop right open. And then for the reverse style, you basically want to catch this piece of the lid. You want to catch it with this piece of your finger and push forward, and it'll pop up. Just like that. It's not too bad once you get the hang of it. This is actually my favorite trick, the Flippy McTwisty, because it introduces you into bigger tricks. And stick around because the tricks are going to get harder and more difficult as we go. I call it the Flippy McTwisty because you have to flip it open from upside down and then twist it around your fingers. It's a very great trick to start to learn how to juggle your Zippo and move it around your fingers. And I just do it simple. So you don't have to overexert yourself trying to flip it through too many fingers. You got to start off somewhere small. That's why I do it smaller in this version of it. And as you can see, the way I end it, I actually set myself up to be able to do the operator after. It helps for the juggling. The way you're going to pull off this trick is you're going to have the hinge facing you and your lighter upside down. And you're going to be just like knocking on the lid, right? And you're going to push it, see, through my thumb there. See how I push it open and flip it open? And then everything's lined up to do it. It's pretty simple. And that's just how you do it. And just keep practicing flipping it open, right? You're not going to do it every time, but then you'll give the right amount of pressure. And when you do it right, your finger will always be landing there. See how my finger's just there automatically when I do it? It's just because I know my hand placement. And it just makes everything so much easier. And that's what's going to help you switch it over, flip it in your fingers, slam her shut, done. Looks good. All right, number 4 is also a very big favorite of mine and most people. It's the disappearing flame. It looks very cool. It's fun to do, but it is a little tricky to pull off, and you got to watch because it is a little hazardous. You got to be quick, and you can't really touch the chimney. When you see here in slow-mo, what you're going to be seeing is me do a trick to open it up, and then you're going to notice when I go to put it out, look at the back of the chimney. You're going to see a little tiny blue flame still there. You see I actually don't light it up the first time, and then see it's staying lit there. Will I pull it away? It just smothers it a bit where that little blue flame's still there, and then when I throw oxygen back at it, it lights back up. You could check my disappearing flame explained video, but the majority just to how to get that is, see my wick right here? All you got to do is just bend it backwards, but don't have it bent too far to the back of the chimney. You want to basically have it in a shape like this. That's what it should look like in there when you're done with it. That's what mine looks like in there right now. And that's how you pull off the trick. That's how you keep the little blue flame on the bottom right there so you could relight it after. Number 3 is actually something I specifically created for this video. It's the floating Zippo. It does really well. It's a pretty cool trick. People have really liked it, and it's pretty easy to pull off. And I'm going to show you how I did it here. What you're really going to need here for this trick to work is you're going to need an actual steel case Zippo. I know they are hard to find, but they do exist. And you're also going to need 3 neodymium magnets and a ring to tuck them under. I'm going to show you how I did that. Okay, everybody, so this is how I did that trick. I took this ring off. You're going to need a ring that has a wide bottom like this, and then you're going to want to put it on a finger that it has a little more extra room on, and put it upside down so there's space for the magnets. And then I stuff the magnets underneath like so. You just put one on each side. It gets a little, sometimes they try to hit each other in there. And then you stuff one in through the bottom, and there you go. And you grab your zip and bang. Alright everybody, this is the Reservoir Dog Zippo trick. It is the most iconic, classic trick you're ever going to do, and there isn't a good one on YouTube existing showing how to do it properly. Everyone always cheats with the finger snap. You always see them using their pointer finger to do it, and they're just pushing down on the flywheel, on the flint wheel, sorry. And they're not actually snapping their fingers when you do it. Most people snap with their middle finger when they snap. Watch how I do it. I am snapping every point of the way except for when I push the lid closed. I tend to just push it. But when I open it, I snap. And when I light it, I snap. You can see here in the slow-mo, I do a really good job. Pretty accurate. It just takes practice, guys. You can all do it too. It just takes a little time, a little practice. And don't just cheat and push down on the flywheel. Actually snap. You'll find it's actually easier if you're just snapping. And another pro tip you're going to probably notice me using when I'm doing this is going to help you the most. Notice where my hand placement is. It never actually changes. I'm moving the Zippo to where I want it to be. I'm not moving my fingers to the flint wheel and to the lid. If you watch, I'm moving the Zippo lid, I'm turning it, and I'm moving it in 2 different positions. So that way it's always lined up for my snaps. That's the best way you're going to pull this off, and that's how you got to practice it. Move the Zippo into your snaps. Don't move your snaps into the Zippo. Alright, we finally made it here at number 1, the Flaming Juggler. This is the hardest trick to do. You're going to start off with a Flippy McTwist, and that's why I said to always practice that trick, because it's going to get you to this Flaming Juggler. There it was. That was the trick. Now, I do not do the finger thing very well, like flipping it between the fingers here, because this took so many takes to do. It was very hard.
But the part of the trick that is the trick to get it to is when you go to flip it around, like right here, it lands in between your thumb and your pointer. It's too big to fit in between there. Now here's the trick. You throw it up, one spin only, lands and closes itself.
Right, everybody, so the Zippo I used for this video actually wasn't a Zippo at all. It was actually a War Armor. It is a solid titanium alloy. It is way thicker than a Zippo. This thing is beefy. It is heavy. It's the only hinge you're actually going to have that is going to hold up to these tricks. There's no better hinge than this. This thing just doesn't move, man. It's a tank. It's an absolute beast. If you're going to be serious about tricking, you're going to want to get one of these. And like, it's a titanium alloy. This thing barely even scratches. I absolutely love this thing. It is an absolute monster. And I am also using a fuel tank. You fill it up in there and it soaks up that thing, and then there's a little bit of cotton and a little piece of a wick in there. It holds the fluid really well. I really like this concept. I even think there's a way to upgrade it. But anyways, guys, that's what I do with my tricks. And remember, never practice your tricks with a full insert. Just for safety reasons and hazards and fire hazards, you do not want to do that. Always practice with an empty insert. You don't want to waste fluid anyways. So guys, get yourself one of these titanium alloy war armors and stay tuned for more videos. Make sure you subscribe.